Live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family, your business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message. I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio, where we have a very focused show. We only chat about items affecting the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. And let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. And you can reach out to me directly at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call, that number comes directly to me first. There are no operators standing by. I am it.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan or plan to save you money, I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Yes, of course, being that it is another beautiful day on Ron Siegel Radio, we are celebrating National Chocolate Milk Day today. I like chocolate milk. Are you a chocolate milk fan? Just doing a little unscientific survey. Corned beef hash day. Corned beef hash day. I'm gonna have to post that one. Find out. I love corned beef hash with either a soft poached egg or a sunny side egg right on top of it. Yum. Where do you go to get the best corned beef hash? I know there's a place out in the Coachella Valley I really enjoy. It's called Louise's. Where do you go to get the best corned beef hash? We're going to post that one right there, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. Get your opinions on that one as well. Watching the markets today, following the news, the debates last night. That's obviously the big news of the debate of the day was the debates last night. Did you watch them? I was watching an interview with one of the generals this morning, and he said yes, he did watch it, and he was bored to death. What are your thoughts? Did you watch? Did you enjoy it? What were your best takeaways? And I'm going to suggest it. There's not a whole lot of people that it's going to change anybody's opinion of anything. I think it's more entertainment. It is must-see watch. I tweeted throughout most of the debate, sending out messages and tweeting throughout. I found some of the information I found most interesting. I love it. I've seen a lot of interesting comments this morning. When Donald Trump made the comment that, when Hillary Clinton is charging him, maybe he doesn't pay any taxes. Well, let me ask you this question, and I'm just a simple man asking a simple question. If you're following the law, does it matter? Now, if you're breaking the law, that's a whole different issue. If you're breaking the law, then I would say, something you've got to pay the price for that one. But following the law, I don't know anybody. I am not familiar with anybody that's going to pay more than what the law requires them to pay. Now, I know there's some people that say about paying their fair share, but I'm going to suggest also that anybody that's achieved the level of success that Donald Trump has is paying a lot of money in taxes. Now, maybe it's not income taxes per se. Maybe it's not on the bottom of his tax return per se. But if you've got thousands and thousands of people that you're employing, you're paying payroll taxes on every one of them. So think about that concept. Who do you think is paying more, a billionaire? And I love listening to the hypocrite Warren Buffett, who started an insurance company so he doesn't have to pay much in the way of taxes. You don't take my opinion on it. That was his words, that he was able to avoid taxes by the insurance company. So think about this, and I love it, the fact that Trump says, something, yeah, they tell me I made $694 million last year. Okay, great. $694 million. That is a boatload of money. I don't know anybody who would not take that in a heartbeat. So think about that concept. Don't you want somebody like that who's doing it by creating jobs, creating wealth, creating benefits for himself, his family, and others? Isn't that who you really want to be following, who you would like to listen to? Here's an interesting scenario. Every year for the last 5 or 6 or 7 years, we've seen a process where Warren Buffett has put on a lunch. And for a charity, he raises money, goes on eBay, puts the charity on eBay, and raises money for his lunch. Raises $2-3 million for somebody to go to lunch with him. We have the opportunity right now for $400,000 a year to have Donald Trump as the president speaking to the American people on a regular basis. And you know something? Maybe there is something that he has to offer that you or I can learn from. Heaven forbid we should have a politician that we could ever learn something from instead of one that's just out trying to enrich themselves and their family and taking from the American people. You think that might be a little bit of a surprise?
Surprise, surprise, surprise.
Yeah, just amazing. Now, the other one that I found very fascinating, Hillary Clinton complaining that Donald Trump profited from the housing crisis. Isn't that what business people are supposed to do? Now, you don't wish ill on other people. And I don't think that's ever been alleged that Trump has wished ill on anybody. Maybe he has, I don't know. But the issue here is you don't wish ill on other people. But you know something? When opportunity knocks, you're going to say, no, I got money, but I don't want to take advantage of this because somebody else lost. And the opportunity is there, so I'll leave it for Hillary Clinton's friends at Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan and all these big banks that she goes and delivers her speeches to. Do you think that makes any sense? And I've been sharing with you right along that we are looking for a bubble. We are facing an economic bubble. Yes, I know it's been 7.5 years that we've been facing this bubble, but yesterday you heard it flat out. Donald Trump saying plain and simple, what I've been saying right along is that the Federal Reserve, Janet Yellen, they're in the tank for the administration. The reason the stock market is doing what it's doing is because we've got artificially low interest rates. When those interest rates turn, number one, at $20 trillion, do you know how much it's going to cost you and I? Do you know how much it's going to cost the taxpayer when the cost of that debt gets back to market rates where it should be? Going to be a huge, huge burden on the American people. Then we're going to say, okay, the big banks, the big business who's making boatloads of money, the financial institutions making boatloads of money, borrowing money at next to nothing and lending it out on credit cards for 20, 30% or for cars at 5, 10, 20%. All of those folks, when the prices, the interest rates start going up, what do you think they're going to do? Do you think their profits are going to show as much as they are right now? Well, of course not. So while we're sitting here with the stock market this morning at 18,179 while I'm speaking to you, that's got to correct itself. There's no logic to it. Oil down $1.62 a barrel. Why? Well, there's no leadership in America. And we're watching that now that we are becoming energy independent, and you still see Saudi Arabia and Iran and Venezuela producing as much oil as they can just because they can, Russia producing as much as they can. We're putting more and more product on the market, and as we put more and more product on the market, the supply goes up, demand stays the same, which means prices will decline. That's why we're also seeing the U.S. 10-year Treasury dropping, now at 1.56. 1.56 is the yield. The bond price, the cost of the bond goes up. When the cost of the bond goes up, the yield goes down. It's just straight mathematics. But we're also watching, there's some problems going on, and they're starting to manifest and come out to the forefront right now. In Europe, Germany's 10-year bond now down to where you get a negative yield. You get negative. You don't get your money back when you invest in the German 10-year bond. Now it's better than 0.1% is the cost. They're bond is not even as good as Japan's anymore. Think about that one, and where do you want to put your money? We're going to continue talking about that. We'll also talk about home prices. Got a lot to cover today, just a little bit of this and that, and we've got some questions, listener questions. We're going to chat about those as well. You are listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. When we come back, using U.S. housing market moving further into buy territory. Wonder what the real estate professionals are going to say about that one. Master bathroom is the new master bedroom. That's kind of an interesting thought. How to get the biggest Social Security check you can. Remember to reach me anytime. Call our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Connect with us, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. On Twitter, @Ron Siegel. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, shame on you. The replay is available, though. Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
What if your family business could help clothe a less fortunate family? Or your restaurant could feed truly hungry people? What if you could help to comfort the lonely? Plant sustainable resources where nothing has ever grown before? Or make a child's lifelong wish come true? What if all you had to do was simply do nothing more than what your business already does every day? Would you do it? Introducing Processing for a Cause, a unique program that turns a percentage of your business's credit card volume into ongoing donation dollars from nonprofit organizations and foundations. Simply switch your credit card processing provider to Processing for a Cause and begin supporting a worthy cause today. The process is simple, and the cause will change lives forever. Processing for a Cause.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 018694452.
Are you a veteran, police officer, firefighter, doctor, nurse, or teacher? If so, you qualify as one of Ron Siegel's VIP heroes, and we have rewards up to $5,000 or $10,000 when you buy, sell, or refinance a home with one of the Ron Siegel Radio partners. As one of the heroes, real estate agents will rebate part of their commission. Lending partners will give a credit at closing. The title company has special published rates, and many other service providers have incentives too. All you need to do is call Ron Siegel Radio at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit VIPHeroProgram.com. Just think about what you will do with all the rebates and incentives from the partners of Ron Siegel Radio. Just call us at 800-306-1990 so we can show you our appreciation for your service.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and that's my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Let's see, what are we going to do first today? Let's do the Word on Wealth segment today, being brought to you by Heritage Financial Services. Yes, if you are looking for, if you own property in California, you need a trust. If you don't, well, the state's going to be a partner in your real estate. I don't know if you want to have the state as a partner in your real estate, in your estate, when your heirs are going to say, okay, I want my wife and my kids and my grandkids and the state of California all to be part of my estate plan or to receive my hard-worked money. Not a good idea. Heritage Financial Services will solve that for you. How to get the biggest Social Security check is the question this morning. How do you get the biggest Social Security check when retiring? And we're going to chat about that. Now, there are a lot of things you need to consider when you're talking about when that retirement day comes. It's just a plain simple. Number one, the basics. How much will I get from Security? The average monthly Social Security benefit for 2016. Are you ready for this? For 2016, average Social Security benefit, $1,341. Oh! Yeah. To find out what you can get in Social Security benefits, you need to go to Social Security Administration's webpage and sign up for My Social Security account. Set it up right there. It's free. If you do not yet receive benefits, you can get your Social Security statement so you can view and estimate the future retirement, disability, and survivor benefits, your earnings once a year to verify the amounts posted are correct, and the estimated Social Security and Medicare taxes you've paid. Request a replacement Social Security card right there if you need it. If you're looking at getting a new home loan, you may need a Social Security card, so you might as well get a hold of it now if you don't have one. And get a benefit verification letter stating you never received Social Security benefits, supplemental Social Security income or Medicare, or that you received benefits in the past but do not currently receive them. This letter will include the date your benefit stopped and how much you received that year or what you applied for. If you already receive Social Security benefits or have Medicare, you can request a replacement Social Security card if you meet certain requirements. Get your benefit verification letter. Check your benefit and payment information and your earnings record. Change your address and phone number. Change direct deposits of your benefit payment. Get a replacement Medicare card. Get a replacement SSA 1099 for tax season. So there's just some of the things. Do I need to worry about Social Security drying up before I need it? Every year we hear about that kind of stuff from the politicians. This time we hear about it as well. Beginning 2020, the cost of the program is expected to to exceed income. So, but don't worry about it. The government's not going to let that happen. Retiring soon, here's what to do. What to do if you're 5 years or so away from retirement. First, write down your plan. Think about where your income is coming from. Consider your asset allocation and get rid of debt. Follow these steps. The projected point at which the combined trust fund reserves become depleted, if Congress does not act before then, comes in at 2034. Again, I would not worry about that. The same as projected last year. At that time, there will be sufficient income coming to pay 79% of scheduled benefits. The projected actuarial deficit over the 75-year-long period is 2.66%. Who cares? What is that part, if Congress does not act before then, mean? I wouldn't worry about it because Congress people know they will not get reelected if they do not protect the Social Security Trust Fund. What is the number one concern of every member of Congress? And it doesn't matter whether you're on the right or the left, the number one concern of every member of Congress is to get reelected.
Surprise, surprise, surprise.
Yeah, no surprise right there. What is the most important thing I should be thinking about regarding Social Security? Possibly the most important decision you'll make is when to start taking Social Security. That's the biggest issue. That's a $500,000 decision. Taking Social Security at age 62 versus age 70 could be as much as a $500,000 decision. So the recommendation there is be very, very careful of what you're doing and when you're doing it. Just a thought. Make sure you're watching. How do death and divorce affect Social Security? If you're considering or are in the process of divorce and you're just shy of your 10th wedding anniversary, you might want to wait a bit and use the time to brush up on all things Social Security before you make the official break. 10 is a magic number with regard to marriage and Social Security. Part 2, when to claim it. People tend to claim Social Security as soon as they are eligible at age 62 without regard for those strategies and tactics that could help them maximize their household's overall benefit. We've talked to Jay Kaplan about this. You've got a boatload of money and equity in your real estate, yet you start taking money from Social Security that is growing at 8% per year from age 62 to age 70. The reason I say it's growing at 8% is because your benefit increases by 8% annually from age 62 until it maxes out at age 70. So if you can get your money to live on ahead of that, if you can get money to live on from alternate sources, Jay Kaplan deals with the reverse mortgage. Al Manfrey has other solutions that'll help you in maximizing your benefits, maximizing the amount of revenue you're getting in retirement. Talk to both of them. Again, I don't make any money from either one of them. I do give you the information so that you can make an educated decision. When do you get your full retirement benefits? It's something called FRA, full retirement age. For those born in 1937 or earlier, that would be age 65. Those who were born from 1938 to 1959, it's going to be from 65 and 2 months to age 66 and 10 months. And those born in 1960 or later, full retirement age is age 67. Again, claiming too early can be a very, very big mistake. Spousal benefits are in there. Here's the bottom line to all of this. Yes, there are spousal benefits. The bottom line to all of this, very, very simple. Social Security is a complex investment vehicle. Very, very complex investment vehicle. If you think that you're going to get the accurate information for your situation by talking to your neighbor, well, you're just wrong. You should know better than that.
You know better than that.
Yeah, don't even think about that. It's totally ludicrous. And again, I know that it costs money sometimes to figure out what is in your best interest. I understand that. When you're getting to the Social Security age, you're really starting to look and worry about, there's a couple of things I hear all the time people are worried about when they get to Social Security age. They're concerned with, will they outlive their money? They're concerned with their independence. They don't want to depend on their kids in retirement. They want to be able to do their own thing. So with that said, contemplate planning ahead of time and talk to a professional. Al Manfrey is giving a huge discount for a trust. 25%. He's giving a $300 discount to make sure that every Ron Siegel radio listener has a trust. Unbelievable. You just have to sit down with him, and he's going to come out, or his team, somebody on his team, will come out every single year to review that trust with you to make sure it's still accurate. 80% of the trusts that are created in the United States of America, 80% are not funded properly. Staggering. People go to the expense, and in most instances, now charges $1,200 less the Ron Siegel Radio discount. But most instances, you're talking about $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 for a trust, and then it's not worth the paper it's written on because it's not funded properly. Yet Al's team will come out and evaluate your whole financial picture every year for free once you get the trust from him. Think about that. You become you're one of the 20%, not one of the 80%, because you've done some planning. Again, it just goes to the whole concept. I was chatting with somebody yesterday. Here's the thought process. You can borrow money right now. The Freddie Mac mortgage rate right now, 3.48%. Freddie Mac mortgage market surveyed rate, 3.48%. Yet people are borrowing that money, and it's even cheaper for a 15-year or a 20-year loan. People are borrowing that money, and they're saying, I want to get my loan paid off in 15 years or 20 years, yet they can get 8% return on that same money from Al. Can't guarantee it, but that's what the history shows. So you're throwing away 5% of your household income or net worth investment return every single year. 5% is the arbitrage right there. Does that make any sense? Can you figure out any logic? Now you just say, okay, well, Ron, I want to have my mortgage paid off. Write a check. It's simple. You don't have to worry about it because if you've got a $400,000 mortgage and you've got $400,000 in a side account, the mortgage is at 3%, the side account is at 8%, you got 5% swing in there. You can make the mortgage payment all day long from that money. Think about this whole thing. It's called arbitrage. It's how people that acquire wealth make money. You wonder how it is that Hillary Clinton accused Donald Trump of making $690 million last year, and she claims that he didn't pay taxes. I don't know how she knows, but with the IRS the way it is and Koskinen the way he is, maybe he gave him a copy of the tax returns. I don't know. But here's the concept, is you're making money because you're making your money work for you. You're buying investments that make your money work for you, and then you don't go and you take Social Security too early. You make sure your trust is in place and funded properly so that the state of California is not becoming one of your heirs. You can make sure that your kids get that money that you've worked for so hard. And this blowhard stuff from Hillary Clinton about charging the ultra-wealthy 65% estate tax. Do you think anybody's going to pay that? Not a chance in the world. They're too smart. They have too many people working for them. They can shelter that money like you and I can't. So it's all just blowhard stuff that they're giving you out of Washington. That means absolutely nothing to anybody, but it makes a good soundbite when she's out there pandering. Just a thought. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, I got an interesting question that came in. Somebody dealing with a trust again, and the concept of, can I sell my husband's $850,000 house after he dies? I don't think he's died yet. But how do you plan for that? So we'll talk about it. The master bathroom is the new master bedroom. I don't know if I want to sleep in the bathroom, but we'll talk about it. And the U.S. housing market moving further into buy territory. So we'll chat about that as well. You can reach us anytime. Call our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter, @Ron Siegel. Stay tuned. We will be back in just a few.
Siegel Lending Team offers you buying power. Let's say you can afford a monthly mortgage payment, including principal and interest, of around $1,900. With today's rate on a 30-year fixed mortgage of 3.75%, APR 3.85%, that payment could support a $416,000 mortgage. But if you wait and rates tick up to around 6.5%, which is roughly the average home mortgage rate over the past 30 years, that same $1,900 mortgage payment, including principal and interest, may only be able to support a $314,000 mortgage. That's over $100,000 worth of home you're missing out on by waiting. That's buying power. All you need to do to get started is reach out to the Siegel Lending Team at 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Payment example excludes taxes and insurance. Call us for full details, 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990 or SiegelLendingTeam.com. Equal housing lender, licensed under NMLS number 217037.
Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area-trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Are you purchasing or own a luxury home? If you're like so many others, your home is your largest asset and the mortgage is your largest debt. The Siegel Lending Team has some amazing financing opportunities right now. Jumbo loans up to $2 million, 30-year rates below 4%, 15-year rates near 3.5%, and if you can believe it, 7-year interest-only hybrids in low 3s. The Siegel Lending Team has all the options for your jumbo or second home loan requirements. Take advantage of them while you can. To learn more about all the other financing products available from the Siegel Lending Team, call 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Again, call 1-800-306-1990. Rates subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender.
Do you own real estate or have assets over $150,000? Do you know one of your heirs will be the probate courts and the IRS? If you don't have a living trust, you will go through probate. Call Heritage Financial Services toll free at 1-855-434-7400 for a free review. Check us out on Facebook, Heritage Financial Service in Lake Forest, California. That's 1-855-434-7400. Again, 1-855-434-7400.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Text PAIR, P-E-A-R, to 79564. One of the real estate professionals will reach out to you to get you the true equity position of your real estate. Again, text PAIR, P-E-A-R, to 79564. One of the professionals will reach out to you to get you the true equity position of your property. Also, I forgot during the last segment when we were talking about the trust. If you text RSR gift bag, RSR, Ron Siegel Radio, RSR gift bag, to 79564, there is a coupon in there for that $300 discount from Heritage Financial Services. I forgot to mention that in there. I should put a coupon in here for the free professional equity analysis review to go into the gift bag as well. But that is the real-time real estate segment. U.S. housing market moving further into buy territory. According to the latest Baracha, Hardin, and Johnson Buy versus Rent Index, the U.S. housing market has continued to move deeper into buy territory, supporting the belief that housing markets across the country remain a sound investment. The BH&J Index is a quarterly report that attempts to answer the question, in today's market, is it better to rent or buy a home? The index examines the entire U.S. housing market and then isolates 23 major cities for comparison. The researchers, I quote, measure the relationship between purchasing property and building wealth through a buildup in equity versus renting a comparable property and investing in a portfolio of stocks and bonds, unquote. Ken Johnson, real estate economist and professor at Florida Atlantic University and one of the index's authors, explains, and I quote again, housing prices in general continue to slow, and when considered in light of the recent trends in the buy versus rent index, signal that ownership remains an excellent investment for the majority of Americans, unquote. While 15 of the 23 metropolitan markets examined move further into buy territory since last quarter, Dallas, Denver, and Houston are three of the major cities that are currently deep into rent territory. In these three markets, it's estimated that renting will top home ownership 7 out of 10 times. Eli Baracha, assistant professor in the T&S Hollow School of Real Estate at Florida Atlantic University, believes that in these three markets, the strong odds in favor of renting to create more wealth should begin to have an impact on the demand for home ownership, and from that, impact property prices in these areas. Simply put, home prices in these areas will begin to return to more normal levels once residents realize that renting may be a better choice, therefore bringing home affordability back as well. The majority of the country is strongly in buy territory. Buying a home makes sense socially and financially. Rents are predicted to increase substantially in the next year. Protect yourself from rising rents by locking in your housing cost. Give us a call. I'll put you in touch with the team at Gold Star Mortgage to get that new mortgage and get the interest rate that you and your family desire. That is the real-time real estate segment. Again, brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Text PAIR, P-E-A-R, to 79564, or you can go to the gift bag, RSR gift bag. Text RSR gift bag to 79564. You'll get one of the gift bags. Has over $1,000 worth of gifts for you. Over $1,000 gifts for you. Questions, we frequently get questions in at Ron Siegel Radio, and I like to try and explore them as much as I can and share. Whenever we get one that we can blur a little bit so that we're not giving out any individual or personal information or non-public information, I like to share it to try and give you some ideas here. Not necessarily so you have all the answers, but so you can ask your professionals the questions. So here's the question. It's a very, very interesting one. So it came in, my husband and I have been married for 15 years. We get along well with each other's adult children, and I believe we have a good marriage. He is 72, I am 62. We are both retired. He has a lot more money than me in savings and retirement. He has a very good pension, which now supports the both of them. Her personal retirement savings is $1 million. His is over $3 million. Her Social Security is $1,655 a month. His pension is about $10,000 a month, not counting his retirement and IRAs. After she retired, she sold her home that they had been living in and became part of her portfolio. Husband sold his and bought a new home for them in his name only, both in total agreement that his money investments will go to his 2 children and grandchildren. Hers go to her 2 children. They've not finalized new wills yet. Shame on you. That's a big, big mistake.
This is ridiculous.
The home is worth about $750,000 when they bought it. Gained over $100,000 in equity. Husband wants to put the house in a trust that states that he could live in it and maintain it, or that she can live in it and maintain it as long as she would like, if he predeceases her, if he dies before she does. Upon her death, it goes to his kids and their offspring. He has annuitized a portion of his pension so that it would be possible for her to do this, although not with the same income as she's receiving now, which is okay with her. If we both continue to live a long life together, this would not be a problem. We're both fairly good health. If something happened to him next week, here's the question: can she sell the $850,000 home and buy something less expensive and less expensive to maintain, closer to her children? With the remainder of the money going to his kids or his heirs at the offset when she passes. So here's the bottom line: you can do almost anything you want if you have a great person writing or drafting your trust. So can she sell that property? If it's written in the trust that piece of property, the proceeds of it are for her benefit until she passes, at which time they go to his kids and his grandkids. It can be done that way. It just has to be documented. So yes, then she could sell it, buy something new, sell that, buy something new, continue doing that as many times as she wants to. But then the proceeds or the sale, once it's completed, once she passes, then that money goes off and follows the next step of whatever's documented in the trust. So it's all the way you document the trust. I mean, I've seen a trust that says a 70-year-old offspring gets a check from a annuity or from a account every month until they pass. And there was enough money in that trust to make sure that they can get that check. But they get a check every month until that 70-year-old passes from the trust from their parent who had passed 10 years ago. So think about that. It's just a matter of writing or documenting the trust. That's why I say, when you talk to somebody like Al Manfrey, they've done over 20,000 trusts. They've seen as creative a methods of doing things as you could possibly talk about, 26 years of trusts. So think about that. If that's the case, if you're contemplating having something that's a little bit out of the ordinary, it's not just cut and dry that when I pass everything goes from A to B, however you want to do it, it's all a matter of what you want. Draft it, draw a flow chart. But the first step is get started. You can always make amendments and changes, but if you get hit by a bus tomorrow and you don't have it done, your family is left out. They can't do anything at that point. They're out of luck, and your money's not going to go where you want to. Heck, in this scenario, based on the way the state of California is, and my understanding, I'm not an attorney, but my understanding of the state of California, everything goes to the spouse, surviving spouse. That's the way the state of California works right now, is surviving spouse gets it all, regardless of what the intent was, if it's not documented, and that's after the state takes their portion, which could be a significant amount of money. Just a thought there. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, the master bathroom is the new master bedroom. That's kind of an interesting thought, but we'll talk about it and see where that takes us. We've also got a couple of things. Apple's iPhone 7 first impressions. I've got mine. You got yours. 10 things your wireless carrier is adding to your bill. We'll chat about a couple of those things when we come back as well. Got a lot to cover still. You can reach us anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990 or ronsiegelradio.com. Connect with us, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter @Ron Siegel. Whatever you do, stay tuned. We will be back in just a few.
Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Isn't it time you found out the truth about FHA insured home equity conversion? No, it's not your grandfather's reverse mortgage. This just may be the finest financial planning strategy available for all homeowners of retirement age. Helping protect what you've earned is the job of your board of directors with continued education. Major research has shown that using a HECM will significantly enhance the success rate of a retiree's portfolio and legacy. Please allow us to educate. For your complimentary consultation, call Jay Kaplan at 949-300-3855. That's 949-300-3855.
Are you currently renting a home? Do you like paying someone else's mortgage payment? Why not explore the options to purchase your own home? Can you imagine a 30-year fixed-rate loan below 4.25% APR? This means with $10,500, you can purchase a $295,000 home and have a principal and interest payment of about $1,400 per month. What are you paying in rent? Does your family deserve the opportunity to take advantage of the current market? To learn more about these exciting opportunities, the Siegel Lending Team is standing by to speak with you. Call now, 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Or 1-800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender. Not endorsed or sponsored by any government agency.
Do you have a goal of mortgage-free home ownership? What if your home was valued at $500,000? Are you aware that a free and clear home could be costing you $2,500 every month, $30,000 per year? The mortgage planners at the Siegel Lending Team would like to show you how you can own your home, generate tax-free income, and accumulate family wealth. You simply need to call the Ron Siegel Team at 1-800-306-1990. That is 1-800-306-1990. By sending the team a copy of your most recent mortgage statement, the team will send you a no-obligation real estate plan. You be the judge if this is right for your family. Again, all you have to do is send the team a copy of your mortgage statement by email to reap@ronsiegelradio.com or call today. Ron Siegel, 1-800-306-1990. That is 1-800-306-1990.
Rate subject to change and without notice. Licensed by the California DOC and BRE NMLS 217037 and 145502 and Cal BRE 0186945 and 1866775.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunity. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990. The master bathroom is the new master bedroom. Holy cow. That sounds like an interesting one to me, but we're going to chat about it here in just a second. That's the Mortgage Minute, is being brought to you by Gold Star Mortgage. That is when you're ready for that new home, any home. Gold Star has the programs, the products that can make accomplish your goals, help you get to where you want to be. Just a thought there. Gold Star, give me a call. I'll put you in touch with them. Be more than happy to. The master bathroom is the new master bedroom. Interesting concept here. Last year, a couple took a sledgehammer to their master bathroom's 1950s era hot pink fixtures, and walls that seemed fit for Barbara. I love it. Love it when we get these messages. Barbara Eden and I Dream of Jeannie for their split level ranch they bought in 2004. They instead opted for a sleek aqua green subway tile, recessed lighting, minimalistic underlit custom cabinetry, and underfloor heating. Interesting setup there. $35,000 they spent. We lived with that pink bathroom for 10 years was the comment. I called it my little pink prison shower, but glad to have made that changed. Think about this concept. You make these kitchen, master bedroom, master bath, those are all serious areas where people spend a lot of time, and one of the big concepts there is that's where mom is actually looking. That's the key component right there, is when we talk about a lot of real estate, if there's a husband and wife buying the property together, in many, many instances, the husband is going to have some input, not a lot, some input on finance. And I am generalizing here, but they're going to have more input on finance. The lady of the house is going to have more input on the kitchen and the property itself. Maybe it's just the way my household works, but that is what we do. Is I don't get a vote. My wife. If my wife's happy, I'm happy. That's the bottom line. And I suggest that many people. It's worked for us for 29 years so far. And I know Southern California, Orange County, we get a 70% of first-time marriages end in divorce. So I'm going to just suggest that maybe it's an idea. I just let her deal with what she wants there, and it makes life a whole lot easier in that area. So if that's the case in your household as well, then maybe the idea would be to let mom make the decisions, let her find the property that excites her, and then as long as it works for the budget, there you go, you got it made. That's the Mortgage Minute, again brought to you by Gold Star Mortgage. So looking at some commentary that's been coming in, we've been questioning people. We got the iPhone 7 last week, had about a week to spend some time with it. 44% of U.S. users in the U.S. upgrade every 2 years, while most of us keep our phones until they stop working. I can say that in our household it's probably close. I like to get the newest gadget all the time. My wife is not as techie as I am. My son's kind of in the middle, one of my sons. So the iPhone 6, iPhone 7, I just jumped to the iPhone 7 with the iPhone 7 Plus. And really the biggest issue there is I just couldn't see the other one. I mean, nothing with the phone itself. It's my old eyes that I'm always putting on these reading glasses. There are several ways you can go with the contract pricing. And I found that the contract pricing is not as good for me, that where you're locked in for 2 years. I was able to save some money on our plan, enough money on our plan to almost pay for the quasi-lease payment on the phone. The reason I call it a quasi-lease payment is because at the end of 12 months, you turn your old phone in, you get a new phone, and start with a new contract for 20 months. But if you keep the phone for 20 months, then it's paid off on the old phone. So on some of ours, we end up paying them in full, so we own them. The others, we end up as a so-called lease. Some of the big benefits are the big new features that we're seeing in there. Here's the concept. One of them, obviously, one of the big things that we've heard about was the earphone jack. Now, I didn't care really whether I have the earphone jack or don't have the earphone jack, but one item that I do notice there is an issue for me is I'd use the old earphone jack. Now I can use the new one, but you can't charge the phone while you're using You've got the earphones on. So if I'm sitting at my desk and I've got the earphones on, I can't charge the phone at the same time unless you're using a Bluetooth set of earphones, which I don't do sitting at my desk. So that's just one of the concepts. I do notice the iPhone 7 the 7 Plus is a bit heavier, is a bit larger. I can actually see the screen. There are some features, and again, I don't know whether it's from the 7 or if it's from the operating system. And I have to admit, my son Mitchell's the one that's taught me how to use some of these things that you can tell you're really getting old. When it used to be that I would show him how to use the phone. Now he's coming in and saying, hey, Dad, did you see this and did you see that? Well, I do a lot on social media, so when you just hold the Facebook button or hold the Twitter button down and just hold it there for an extended period of time, it gives you a pop-up screen that lets you start making a comment or posting whatever you're going to post or tweet whatever you're going to tweet. So that's a nice little benefit there. I haven't seen a whole lot of difference in the cameras. They tell me that they're a lot better. They're a lot different. So far in my usage, I haven't seen where that's come about, but maybe it's just me. Maybe I'll find it at some point in time. So the bottom line, what I would say is if you have a need for the new phone, it's probably a good idea. In my situation, I can't say I really had much of a need other than the fact that I'm a techie and I like to have the newest and latest and greatest, and being that I've on that plan. Now, another one is take a look at this. We're going to talk about some wireless things that your carrier is adding to your bill. One of the things that I did notice now, and I'm on the Verizon contract, I did notice that they've got rollover minutes or rollover data. Not rollover minutes, but rollover data. So I do like that fact that we didn't use all of our 24 gigabytes, and hopefully Mitchell's not listening right now, but we didn't use all 24 gigabytes of data last month. So we rolled over about 4 gigabytes to this month. Now, if that continues that way, what we'll end up doing is we'll be able to decrease the amount of gigabytes of data we get, save some money there as well, and keep watching the bill. So what does that say to you? Well, it says watch your bill, all of your utility bills, all of your different services. I recommend highly, and don't do this online. Talk to somebody. Call your wireless carrier, call your cable service provider, call your internet provider, and talk to them on a quarterly basis. Call your insurance company at least once a year. Talk to somebody on the phone and say, hey, you know something? I haven't made any changes to my plan or my policy in X number of months or years. Is there something that I can be doing that's better? Is there something that I can be doing to save money for my family? And to have them do an analysis of your bill. Now, we've done that. We've done the analysis. I found that I was able to save quite a bit of money changing over a little bit of items on my Verizon bill. I'm sure that you can do the same thing if you've got AT&T or Sprint or whomever. But here are some things that maybe you're not watching, but they're adding to your phone bill, so you just can't take that headline number that they give you. A universal service charge. Every telecommunications service provider has that on there. A 911 telecommunications relay service and local number portability. It's another one that is frequent. Monthly calling plan charge. That's applicable to any service where you have a monthly calling plan, for example, unlimited minutes. Features, charges, if you enjoy having features like call forwarding, voicemail, caller ID, you might have an extra charge for that. Talk to them. If you're not using it, ask about it. Airtime charges. This is a charge for wireless voice calls. Each plan is different. And again, talk to your carrier. See if you've got the right plan based on your usage. Not what you think you're going to use, but what you actually are using. Be sure to know what your carrier's process is on roaming. Downloading fees. Before downloading apps and options like ringtones, make sure you check on the possible charges of that. Make sure your kids check on the charges of that. That's a biggie. Make sure the kids you have your kids talking to you. Hey, don't download stuff until we talk and make sure that we're accepting of that charge. Access charge. You may be billed for a percentage of the cost telephone companies pay for providing access to their local network. Text messaging, especially if you've got young people. They do a ton of text messaging nowadays. Detailed billing. Yep, you can get charged for detailed billing information on your calls. There's a million places. It's kind of like an airline anymore where you get charged for every time you say something or do something. It's almost everything's a la carte. And it's just a way that they can obscure more of the bill. So make sure you're watching all these things so you're not getting, again, you may want them, but you don't want the surprises. That's the big issue. Are you getting surprised by what's going on? That is what you want to be knowing about. Again, if you have any questions on any of these issues, give me a call, 800-306-1990. Be more than happy to discuss these items with you, discuss these options with you. That's just kind of what we do here at Ron Siegel Radio, and that's why I feel very, very confident in asking you every day to set that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, just where we discuss items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to Steve, who's engineering us today. And, of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money, help a lot of people, have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.